Noise pollution is one of the top quality of life issues for city dwellers. Studies have shown that repeated noise exposure can have major impacts on health.
Noise pollution, also known as environmental noise or sound pollution, is the propagation of noise with ranging impact on the activity of human or animal life. Most of them are harmful to a degree. The source of outdoor noise worldwide is mainly caused by the machine, transport, and propagation system. The harm caused by the contamination on the globe is not limited by the atmospheric pollution. Noise pollution does not apply to all sound. Noise pollution is defined by the World Health Organization (WHO) as noise that is louder than 65 decibel. More specifically, noise becomes unpleasant over 120 decibel and hazardous above 65 decibel. Since peaceful sleep cannot be achieved with ambient noise level above 30 decibel at night, it is advised that noise level be kept below 65 decibel during the day. There are many sources of noise pollution, but there are some of the main ones, such as traffic noise account for most polluting noise in cities. For example, a car horn produces 90 decibel and a bus produces 100 decibel. There are fewer aircraft flying over cities that are cars on the road, but the impact is greater. A single aircraft produces 130 decibel. Construction sites building and car park construction and road and pavement resurfacing work are very noisy. For example, a pneumatic drill produces 110 decibel. Catering and nightlife, bars, restaurants, and terraces that spill outside when the weather is good can produce more than 100 decibel. This includes noise from the pubs and clubs. First, the effect of noise pollution on human health. There are some negative effects of noise pollution on human health, such as hypertension, which is the direct result of noise pollution and is brought on by high blood pressure for a longer period of time. Hearing loss is caused by eardrum damage brought on by repeated exposure to loud noises that exceed the threshold of sound that healthy eardrum can sustain. Lack of sleep and sleeping problem may cause daytime exhaustion and poor energy level that interfere with their routine tasks. Noise pollution disrupts sleep cycle, causing annoyance and negative mental state. A normal person may experience cardiovascular concern, heart-related issues including blood pressure, stress, and cardiovascular disorder, and a person who is ill with any of these conditions may experience an abrupt rise in the level. Sound pollution is harmful to human health since it can lead to hearing loss, health problem, and others problem. Effect on wildlife and marine life. Animal and marine life are vulnerable to noise pollution. It can affect their listening skill, which is further affect their behavior pattern. These animals find it hard to listen during migration, which can negatively affect their life. When it comes to marine life, noise pollution can lead to internal damage like physical problem in them. They depend on sound for practically all vital life process, including breeding, feeding, evading predators, and navigation. It should not come as a surprise that a lot of aquatic life relies heavily on sound, because noise can cover a very vast area. It may make it difficult for fish or whales to hear their prey or predators, navigate or establish connection with partner, group member, or their young. Unwanted sound or noise can have significant impact on the marine ecosystem. The loudest component of the background noise audible underwater was seismic organ noise from oil and gas exploration, estimated 3,000 kilometers away. Over the past few decades, underwater background noise level in some locations have doubled every 10 years, most likely as a result of commercial shipping. Noise pollution effect on children. Noise pollution can also cause hearing damage and other health problems in children and teens. They are at risk for higher resting blood pressure and stress level. It affects their education too. Kids who learn in noisy area are more likely to have trouble with reading and language skill. It's especially crucial to be cautious of sound that is excessively loud because most children and teenagers are using personal listening devices like headphone and earbud for music, films, and lessons. Hearing issues are more likely to be brought on by loud noises from personal gadgets and activities like concerts, dances, and celebration than by environmental noise. Nevertheless, ambient noise can be negatively impact a child's ability to learn, behave, and sleep. Children are typically more sensitive to the impact of noise than adults since they are still growing and developing. Children are more likely to be exposed to a higher amount of environmental noise when they live in less of affluent surrounding area.
Greener environment and trees with more leaves and branches will lessen noise because unpleasant noise are muffled by trees as their branches buzz, sway, or stalk. Noise pollution can be masked by the barks and squeaks of birds and squirrels. The higher the noise pollution in theory, the more surfaces there are. This issue has been proven in numerous investigations conducted by numerous academics. For instance, removal of sound barriers such as trees and walls in the construction of building and LRT lane have caused noise pollution, resulting to a complaint from the residents who live nearby. Therefore, decision has been made to plant trees under the Selangor Subang Jaya Council MPSJ tree planting program. Asfar Rizal Abdul Rashid, the Deputy Director of MPSJ Corporate and Strategic Department, stated in a press release that the trees also serve to decorate the region and lessen noise pollution from the busy roadways. Planting evergreen trees and branches, according to the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, can reduce urban noise by 3 to 5 dB. Additionally, enhancing backyards, greens, and roadways is a bonus. According to another study, using natural resources in planting a belt of trees alongside of the roads with a width of 30 meters can reduce noise from heavy traffic by about 6 dB better than grasses. For instance, a combination of trees and shrubs together absorb and deflect sound. Tree planting program under the Selangor Subang Jaya Council, a hedge plant called Bavia natilda, which is used to screen off regions, makes up of 1,550 of the trees along the roadside, with another 50 planned for planting. For trees to be most effective at reducing noise pollution, they should reach heights of 1.8 to 2.4 meters. In addition to absorbing noise, trees are excellent sound barriers because they absorb high-frequency noise more efficiently than low-frequency noise. Lesson learned from Go Green by planting trees is the significance of plants in maintaining the health of our environment is something we already fully comprehend. Trees and other vegetation in urban areas have a variety of positive effects on the environment and people's health, such as better air quality, water quality, lessening the trace of chemicals in the atmosphere like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, carbon monoxide, and lead regulating air temperatures, lowering UV radiation, and more. We are now starting to comprehend trees' extra contribution to reduce the severe effects of noise pollution. However, types of trees are needed to be chosen, as some trees that have thick, fleshy leaves and grainy bark are more effective in absorbing and deflect noise. Hence, the types of trees need to be took into account and not just the numbers of trees. The percentage of noise are controlled by trees under several factors such as frequency, location, height, and the density of trees. Therefore, putting money into planting trees would create sustainable cities with happier and healthier citizens. To better comprehend the palpable and genuine advantage the trees offer, we examine the substantial effects. Planting and maintaining trees is a practical solution to many societal problems, delivering enormous potential with relatively little input and energy.
The next suggestion is regular and thorough maintenance of the operating machine. A good self-maintenance is good business as it can reduce the physical hazard of noise. Deafness may be temporary or permanent as a result of exposure to extreme noise from poorly maintained machinery and equipment. Machinery and equipment need to be properly maintained on a regular basis because they might deteriorate with time and become noisier. There are two types of maintenance that can be taken, namely corrective maintenance and preventive maintenance. Corrective maintenance is also known as reactive maintenance because the action is started when the unplanned event of an equipment failure occurs. It involves actions that are intended to return a system from a failed state to a working state. For example, repair or replacement of a broken components. On the other hand, preventive maintenance is when tasks are completed on a schedule or in accordance with established criteria in order to lessen the probability of a failure or deterioration in the functioning of an item. In this scenario, the proactive scheduled tasks are meant to stop the system deterioration process before it fails. Thus, action that can be taken is replacement, lubrication, cleaning, or inspection. Every day, millions of individuals are impacted by noise pollution. It most frequently results in noise-induced hearing loss. Stress, high blood pressure, heart disease, and sleep difficulties can all be brought on by exposure to loud noise. Children, in particular, but all age groups can experience these health issues. Industrial machines generate noise that can impact the hearing of the worker if they are exposed to the noise for a more than recommended duration on a daily basis. A machine may be noisy because it needs oil, adjustment, or a part is wearing out. Regular maintenance and repair can keep machine from getting noisier. Thus, regular maintenance for machine and devices is necessary since this is one of the factors that contributes to high noise exposure. Not only that, it keeps the equipment and system in good working order, maintains a high degree employee safety, and assists in avoiding major and expensive repair in the future. An effective preventive maintenance program makes sure that operational disruptions are kept to a minimal overall. Within a manufacturing facility, specific examples of preventive maintenance include making sure the machinery on the production line is operating effectively. Therefore, by having a regular maintenance, it will reduce the noise that will interrupt our surrounding, as an increased attention to maintenance of tools and equipment will reduce the noise level.
The next suggestion is reducing excessive and continuous noise in administrative ways from becoming more widespread. Continuous noise such as the road traffic, aeroplanes from the airport, garbage trucks, construction equipment, manufacturing processes, and lawnmowers are some of the main sources of the unwanted noise that is routinely emitted into the air, and a man-made noise that can cause unpleasant and unwanted noise can be taken action under the act or law that involves noise pollution and should be tightened against human activities that are capable of causing noise pollution. For example, during heavy traffic, drivers cannot easily make noise due to the sounds of horns in traffic, and the authorities need to regulate and installing the closed-circuit cameras in order to detect the ineffective kind of behavior from the driver activity on the road. If there is a driver who commits an offense by honking excessively, action should be taken such as suing for misbehavior on the road that prevents noise pollution. Furthermore, excessive noise in terms of working hours of a person who is exposed to noise should be reduced. In the Malaysian context, the Industrial Code of Practice (ICOP) for the management of occupational noise exposure and hearing conservation 2019 was issued in Malaysia on 31st October 2019. The ICOP is a legally binding document that provides details of the implementation of the Occupational Safety and Health Exposure Regulation Sound 2019. According to ICOP, reducing through control the reduction of workers' time exposed to noise pollution by setting working and rest hours within safe limits. For instance, even for employer who has been in work environment for a long time needs to be limited in time, and other administrative controls also need to carry out, namely by arranging the work schedule of an employee on a rotating basis. In addition, laws and regulation against excessive noise must be taken seriously. That is, for every step of maintenance of work operations that follow the standard operating procedures according to the health and safety specs of workers. For instance, SOP by requiring workers to wear ear protection devices during work, such as ear protection in terms of earplugs or earmuffs, so that the risk of excessive noise can be reduced to some extent, which will cause hearing problems for the employees. The lesson learned from the suggestion of reducing excessive and continuous noise through administrative means, such as implementing laws or creating policies on the road related to noise pollution, is a way that can be maintained in order to be able to limit the use of vehicles' horns for things that do not require the use of vehicle horns, so that they can cause pollution sound. For instance, in Guangzhou, China is one of the noisiest countries in the world and has created important provisions and laws to control and prevent excessive and continuous noise pollution. Based on that also, China actions against the adoptions of legal actions that are outlined, such as taking into account the effects of noise in construction projects, by encouraging the use of technology for various things, including work activities that are exposed to noise that can help in curbing noise pollution, have been able to be implemented with a good and able to limit activities or daily jobs of residents that lead to noise pollution. In Malaysia, important laws and provisions to prevent and control noise pollution need to be implemented like other developed countries because their effectiveness has been seen. This is because at the end of the day, government needs to recognize that the noise pollution is a serious problem and implement strict regulations and practices to ensure a quieter, more peaceful environment for everyone to live is indeed compulsory. As the government continue to develop and enforce noises, standards and guidelines, we should not forget that we also need to do our part in abiding by these measures to limit the noise.